Would you like to try some of our early curly? That curly. Made amazing.
Today on the traditional land of the Kulin nations who for so many generations cared for this land so much better than we are doing now. We are here today because we face a climate emergency and because this week our world's leaders are meeting in Copenhagen to decide what they're prepared to do to safeguard the future of our planet.
We all know that Kevin Rudd likes to spend time on the international stage rubbing shoulders with world leaders. Well, here's his big opportunity to deliver on the global stage. We give him permission to stay in Copenhagen for as long as it takes. In fact, our message to Kevin Rudd here today is that we don't want to see you back in the country until we have a safe climate deal.
We have a narrow window, a short time in which to act. But we know the choice on which path we take must be made now.
We don't have time to argue with skeptics. For while we waste time debating in our parliament and in our media, millions of the world's most vulnerable and poor people are being hit hard by its effects, despite being the least responsible. I know this. I was born in Tuvalu. It is a small nation of 9 low-lying atolls. At only 1 metre above sea level, we are feeling the effects of the rising tides and the changing weather patterns. Our food crops are being destroyed by salt water seeping up through the coral, and the king tides that wash across our small atolls are becoming more common and increasingly severe. This threatens our local food supply and our ability to live off the land.
How quickly it spread, how ferociously, uncontrollably and wildly it burned. Our crew ended up in Marysville. It was like driving into night. We were called to help other trucks protect the town, but when we arrived around 6 o'clock in the evening, it was clear there was nothing we could do. I've been in the fire brigade for almost 20 years, and I've never seen anything like it.
I never want to see another day like the 7th of February. And the thought that this could become more frequent or even the norm as a result of climate change fills me with fear. And I hear that Victoria is considering exporting brown coal, or that Kevin Rudd is going to hand over billions of dollars to our biggest polluters. I have an almost physical reaction. I feel a mixture of anxiety, fear and anger in my belly that they would make a decision that continues to contribute to climate change.
There was more carbon dioxide and warmer temperatures 200 million years ago when dinosaurs roamed the earth. There appear to be some dinosaurs in Parliament at present. They are likely to be made extinct by climate change.
We've seen lots of conversation, we've seen very little action, and we've seen a weak attempt at an agreement cobbled together by a handful of wealthy governments, including our own, which will fail to do the job that's required.
So as people who have felt the brunt of climate change, we're asking our government to listen to us. Start taking climate change seriously. Treat it as a matter of life or death.
There are many people that say, let us wait to make a decision. Waiting is deciding to continue emissions. Waiting is deciding to make climate change worse. Waiting is deciding that Australia and Victoria will have a hotter climate with more bushfires, with destruction of the barrier reef and less rainfall in the Murray-Darling Basin and in Victoria. We have a choice to make now and in the next 12 months, which path we want to go on.
For us, continuing with business as usual means that within the next 10 to 20 years our land will become uninhabitable and our population of 12,000 people will be forced to relocate. This threatens our identity, our culture and our very existence. For Tuvalu, this is not a question of economics. It is a question of survival, of injustice, of human rights. We need to send a strong message that we will not stand for this inaction any longer. There is hope for Tuvalu and for all nations affected, and it lies with us.
So what should we be doing? In theory, it's easy to outline what we need to do. We can stop wasting energy. We can shift our electricity production to renewable energy as quickly as possible. We can stop cutting down the world's forests.
Reduce your own emissions, write to your local MP, live local, ride your bike, grow your own food, vote with your dollar, consume less. Inspire others to do the same.
We can remove subsidies to pollute. We can move people and goods differently. And we can change the way we produce and consume things to tread more lightly on the planet. Next year we have a state and a federal election. We need to ensure that we get the leadership that we need on climate change.
As a community, it's our responsibility to hold our government to account. And over the next week and the coming years, we need people power more than ever, because we know that people power can make the difference.
Solar panels have fallen by 30% in the last 12 months, but countries like Germany and Spain have developed massive markets for solar power. They have created more jobs in renewable energy in the last 12 months than we have in the coal industry in Australia.
So they're now outside.
Well, the tail end has just left the library now, and we're down at City Square approaching Flinders Street, so we'd be guessing at least 40,000 people. We're forming the words safe climate, do it, and the letters are all being filled up at the moment, and then an aeroplane will be over taking a photograph. And the great thing is that because this is the first big rally happening today anywhere in the world, it will be hopefully big news, seen in the papers, and sending a clear message to our leaders in Copenhagen.
And they're coming out in tens of thousands to show that they want real action on climate change.
This is our eau de Cologne. And our holy curls. And we're not to worry because we've worked out how to be cool. Yes. Vera facial cream. It's all organic.
Oh, that's
And if you now you've got a carbon credit, you can trade that. And if you